This is one of the most interesting and dramatic lenses that I've tested this year, and I've really never seen anything quite like it before. Even the shape of the lens itself looks somewhat absurd on my Sony camera, and although it creates these beautiful otherworldly images, the lens itself isn't expensive by any means, particularly given it is a full-frame lens that works equally well on crop sensor cameras. The lens also has some crazy features that I've never seen before. To start with, it is a 1.5 times macro lens, which is a manual focus lens from minimum focus distance to 1.5 meters. But from 1.5 meters on, it can be used as an autofocus lens. This gives you accurate manual focus control for macro subjects, and the lens isn't just focused by wire or like electronic focus, it's a proper geared manual focus lens. But then you can switch the lens into autofocus mode. This is going to give you accurate autofocus for things like portraits or sports and wildlife. This has long been one of the most challenging features of macro lenses because often you have fine control over your manual focus at close distances, but as you approach infinity, even a slight movement of the focus ring can cause the plane of focus to shift significantly. So while theoretically manual focus macro lenses are usable for objects at normal distance, it's often very difficult to do so. The other thing that's unique about this lens is the focal length. When I first saw the lens, I assumed it was going to be a standard 100 f2.8 or f4 macro lens, but it's actually a 180 millimeter f4.5 1.5 times macro lens. That's a combination of focal length, aperture, and magnification that I've absolutely never seen before. And because the maximum aperture is only f4.5, it's allowed them to keep the lens small and light, but also keep the price down. I'll put some links in the description down below to the best pricing I could find on the lens and where you can currently buy it. Because it is a new release lens, at the time of shooting this video, it's only available at 2 different retailers. And in full disclosure, Loawa did send this lens out to me at no cost to myself. This is not a paid video, and they've had no say in the making of the video. Given I'd never tested a lens like this before, I wasn't even sure what I was going to use it for, but having 180 millimeter focal length is going to give you a high magnification of your subject while not getting too close. This is going to be particularly good for insect photography, as you're going to be able to capture an extremely detailed image while not being so close as to scare the insects away. It's also going to give you quite a different look in your insect photography compared to the standard 100 millimeter macro lens with a tighter frame and significantly more image compression. One thing I should note about 100 millimeter focal length, it is going to have a much shallower depth of field than a standard 100 millimeter macro lens. This is going to make your life easier by allowing you to be further away from the subject, but it's also going to make your life more difficult by having an extremely shallow depth of field. I'll show some examples of that now, and I'm trying to keep the subject in focus in these images, and just a slight rocking back and forth with my body is causing them to come in and out of focus. For general purpose macro photography like flowers and products, you're going to get that same magnification advantage that you are when doing insect photography, but being further away from the subject means you're less likely to shade the object, either from yourself or from the lens. It's also going to give you a little bit more flexibility when using a flash, allowing you to use a little bit more of a conventional or standard flash setup. This is going to make the lens particularly good for product photography or very small items or detailed shots of larger items. Once your subject is beyond 1.5 meters, you can switch the lens into autofocus mode, and now you have a really dramatic portrait lens or street photography lens, or even maybe an automotive photography lens. And because the lens is 180 millimeters, although it is f4.5, which doesn't sound like a huge maximum aperture, because of the long focal length, you can still isolate a subject and get a deeply out of focus background. And while I don't think this is the most versatile lens going around, when you consider the price and the dramatic images it provides, I could see it being attractive to entry-level photographers because it will give them something they aren't going to get out of any other lens. But if you're not interested in macro photography, you would probably be better off with something like a 7200 or 7180 f4 or f2.8. This is really a macro lens first that you can also use to create dramatic images at normal distances, but I think of that as a bonus mode for this lens. Now, it's a full frame lens that is going to work really well on aps-c sensor cameras as well. You're going to have a couple of different mount options. In the autofocus version, you're going to get a Sony E mount, Nikon Z mount, and Canon EF mount. In manual focus version, you're going to get a Canon RF and an L mount. And just to show you how the autofocus function works on this, you have it in manual focus, and if you turn the manual focus ring anywhere here, I am now manually focusing the lens. But if I turn it beyond infinity, it clicks in and there is a little AF on there. That means you are now in autofocus mode. The lens is now an autofocus lens, but it won't focus any closer than 1.5 meters. So if you find your subject coming within 1.5 meters of you, you have to switch it into manual focus mode, and now you have manual focus control. The other thing is this is not a focus by wire manual focus. It is a geared manual focus, and for macro subjects, macro photography, macro video, I really always want a geared manual focus lens anyways. So this kind of gives me the best of both worlds. At long distances, I can switch it into that autofocus mode, but when I'm shooting in manual focus, I've got a truly geared manual focus lens. And although it's an affordable lens, it doesn't feel or look cheap by any means. To start with, it is going to be an all-metal lens body. You're going to get a polished metal lens mount. You've got a USB-C port for updating the firmware. Just everything about it is so premium. It has a programmable button on the side of the lens. It even comes with an included metal lens hood. And overall, it really looks like Loawa's new series of high-quality lenses. I really like the color. I like the blue ring. When you see these lenses now, you just know this is a Loawa product, and I would say it is an extremely premium build. The other thing is it is all internal focusing, so when you're focusing, it is all within the lens itself, and that's going to give you some protection from getting dust in the lens and debris on the lens elements. Looking at the sharpness and detail the lens renders, and starting in the center frame at f4.5, you get a very sharp and detailed image. It is slightly lower contrast at f4.5. Once you stop it down to f5.6, it does get slightly sharper and it does improve the contrast. At f8, it is about the same. Once you get to f11, it gets a little bit softer, but I think the image is still quite usable, particularly if I'm shooting macro and I want to get a deeper depth of field. And at f16, we are seeing the image soften from diffraction, but it is still a very usable image, and there's certainly some situations where I would shoot this lens at f16. Once we take a look at the corners, we're actually getting a very similar performance to the center, and I don't think there is any significant softening between the center frame and the corner frame. At f4.5, once again, we've got a very sharp and detailed image, slightly lower contrast. At f5.6, it is slightly sharper, and we've seen a little bit improvement in that contrast. At f8, it's about the same. And at f11, it gets a little bit softer from the effects of diffraction. And at f16, it's a little bit softer yet, but I think, once again, still a perfectly usable image. Now, close-up image quality is obviously going to be the strength of this lens. It has a minimum focus distance of 14 centimeters, which is very close for a lens of this focal length. It also has a maximum magnification of 1.5 times. That means that the image projected on the sensor is going to be 1.5 times what it is in real life. This is an extreme magnification. This is going to be great for product photography, insect photography, detail photography. Using this lens, I am seeing things that I am absolutely not seeing with the naked eye, and at times it is almost like a magnifying glass. And if you get it close to someone's face, or you're looking at something sitting on a desk, you're going to see some details that you just aren't seeing with the naked eye, and sometimes it is almost terrifying, but it is a super cool lens, and those close-up images have a lot of detail in them. Looking at the distortion performance, there is effectively no distortion whatsoever. And the same thing with vignette. There is no reasonable or noticeable amount of vignette starting right from f4.5. So you're going to get a clean frame. You're not going to have to worry about cleaning that up. Looking at the chromatic aberration performance in the in-focus areas, I think it is pretty good, but maybe not perfect. What I did notice is in some situations, there was very extreme longitudinal chromatic aberration, which is purple fringing or color cast around out-of-focus areas, and particularly with backlit branches in trees. It was really almost what I would say is horrendous. But interestingly, I really had to go looking for it and shoot it in those shots. In all the real world shooting they did, all the macro shots, all the portrait shots, all the street shots, I really didn't notice any of that longitudinal chromatic aberration, but there are some scenes that it might show up in, particularly if you've got backlit branches and trees. Looking at the flare performance, this is possibly the Achilles heel of this lens. It does flare quite badly if you get bright lights close to the edge of frame or even in the frame. It does have a lens hood that works quite well, and I would definitely be using that all the time. Now, in my real world shoots, every once in a while I would get an image that just seemed a little bit washed out or a little bit funny, and that was often the flare sort of rearing its head, and I didn't realize that it had happened in the shot. And normally I'd be able to just recompose the image a little bit, and it would be able to take care of that flare. But you do have have to watch it if you do have bright sources of light in your frame, you can get some desaturating and washing out of the image. Now, looking at the bokeh and background blur, this is a little bit of a two-speed performance because deeply out of focus areas looked excellent, but some backgrounds, particularly when they weren't too far behind the subject that I was focusing on, could look busy and distracting. So in some cases, I would have said the performance was like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. At other times, I would have thought it was probably maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10. Overall, I'd probably call it middle of the road performance 5 or 6. But you do have to watch if you do have some busy patterns in your background and you haven't completely obliterated those, making them deeply out of focus, you will sometimes notice some busyness and distracting background blur. This is a really special and totally unique lens. It's extremely small and lightweight for a 180mm macro lens. It's also reasonably affordable. Overall image quality and detail rendering is excellent. It's a manual focus lens at close distances, which is exactly what you want, but then has autofocus when required at distances beyond 1.5 meters. This eliminates one of the biggest problems with most traditional manual focus macro lenses. The only thing you should be aware of before spending your money on this lens is that the lens can be prone to significant flare at times, but in most situations, I think that is manageable. And given its price point and overall performance and image quality, it is a lens that I can recommend.